march to the north.
A historic show of solidarity to the new administration.
Say it clear, immigrants are welcome here.
Millions gathering across the country and around the globe for a multitude of reasons.
Immigrant rights, for Black Lives Matter.
For our sons who are disabled.
People who are afraid of losing the privilege they've had for years.
Everybody had different signs, everybody had their own focused issues. But I think the underlining tone of every single sign I saw was just, let's all be on an equal playing field.
Joshua Moulding and Lindy Malo were among the hundreds of thousands descending upon Washington on January 21st.
My faith as it is teaches us radical love and acceptance, and there was no other way to do it.
The Bridgewater State University alums began their day spending a quiet moment on the National Mall.
I'd never been to DC before, so getting able to come in there that early and get at the National Mall when nobody was really there yet, and get to see all of the monuments that still had all the staging from the inauguration, and kind of just, it was really impressive. Like, I was kind of mind blown. And then you just slowly watch the crowds trickle in and gather.
The Women's March was easily one of the biggest demonstrations in the nation's history.
It wasn't about protesting Trump. It wasn't protesting society. It was about sending a message, about assembling together to become one voice, to be heard loud and clear that this can no longer go on in the world, not just in America.
Just this constant feeling of just unity. And, you know, it didn't matter gender, race, sexuality, nothing mattered except for the message. It was just incredible to be around that many people who all felt the same way.
The international outpouring highlighting the president's effect on people at home and abroad.
It was a protest worldwide, 7 continents, preaching the same message. I don't know how anybody can deny how important that was. Whether you agree with the message or not, that is powerful.
Sister marches rose up in small towns and major cities, including Boston, where residents Maribel Soto and Fran Jeffries stood with thousands on the Boston Common before marching down Charles and Clarendon streets.
I had reached out through Around the Common and the Bridgewater residents' Facebook sites, inviting people to just meet at the train station to catch the 832. And when I arrived, the platform was full. And the important thing I think about that is that people can see they're not alone in their thinking.
I'm here for women's rights and justice for all.
For all the people whose voices can't speak loud enough to reach the government.
People were united in wanting to voice concern, a sense of commitment, I think, to the U.S. Constitution, to American principles, to our community.
These are ways of just expressing and spreading these ideas so that other people can also think about these.
Here in town, a small standout was planned on the Common by Bridgewater Citizens for Civility and Respect.
It was also equally important to have it in a local level so that local citizens, neighbors, stand out for these positions of inclusiveness.
The marches and standouts did encounter some pushback.
There were some negatives in people, but that's just part of the process. And so we see that as educational.
For many, the march was a call to action, an inspiration to do more, to keep the dialogue going.
Now's the time to start making the phone calls. Now's the time to start writing the letters. Now's the time to start going to these public events where your council members are, your senators are, your congressmen, and even more so, your local community.
We started going, okay, what do we do next? What's the next initiative? Where do we start locally? How do we help? It all starts small. You know, it's got to start somewhere, and you just need someone to buckle down and do it.
This isn't just today, it's for the next 4 years.
President Trump tweeted his response to the march, asking in part why these people didn't vote, and then praising democracy, saying peaceful protests are a hallmark of our democracy. Even if I don't always agree, I recognize the rights of people to express their views.
Being a part of that march, it really struck a chord with me to say, people can listen. People will listen. And even if they don't listen right away, they might eventually hear what we're trying to say. And I think that one of the greatest messages of that march was the idea that I need to keep going with it.